Alright, so, let's talk about assault weapons bans and that type of stuff. The 23 executive orders the president came out with didn't look too bad on the surface. So as long as they don't really monkey wrench with those and throw ridiculous stuff in them, you know, there might be some validity to them. What really gets people's attention, though, what everyone, I think, in the gun community is against, is the ban on semi-autos and high-capacity magazines. And so I want to address the high-capacity magazines, because I've seen a couple arguments, and it's not that the arguments are flawed and are valid to pro-gun people, but it's the case kind of falls short, I think, when you're talking to some of the people that are more in the middle of the road. And, you know, I'm not, you know, if you're an anti-gunner and you're watching this video, there's nothing I can say to you. You're just, yeah, whatever. If you're in the middle of the road, then, you know, hear me out, because the idea of a high-capacity magazine ban sounds like a great idea on the surface. On the surface, it's like, all right, yeah, we do that. Less bullets equals less killing. But it doesn't always work like that, and it's not going to have the effect that you want it to have when it comes to active shooters. So the Aurora, Colorado incident, or the Connecticut incident, it's not going to have the desired effect you want. So let's start with, you know, my first point. If you agree that I have the right to protect myself and that I have a right to do that with a gun, whether it's a semi-auto or whatever, then you admit that there are criminals out there, or there are people out there that would seek to do honest, law-abiding citizens harm. Now, those are the same people I would call the cops on. So they're the same people the cops would actually be responding to. So when they wrote the new laws that just got enacted in New York, the ridiculous laws, one of the things they did is they established a 7-round maximum capacity for your magazines. So if you had 10-round magazines, which I think is what it was limited to before, which is what it is in, you know, California and stuff, you were no longer allowed to load them over 7. And I read the penalty, but I can't remember what it is right now. What they forgot to do was exempt police officers. And my argument to you is, why do police officers need exemptions? You know, if they're out there and I am potentially facing the same criminals they are, why am I limited to, you know, 10 or 7 or whatever number you come up with, and law enforcement or military is not? Well, let's leave military out of this. Law enforcement, they're going to be responding. They're the ones you're calling to come to your house, and you're saying, well, they may need more than 7. They need more than 10. I mean, they have the ability to reload just like I do. So what's the difference? I mean, when I'm talking about defending myself, I'm talking worst case scenario. That's what I'm preparing for. So in that, you know, they just had that incident where, you know, the woman hid herself and her kids, and the guy ransacked the house and found them and breaks into where they were hiding, and she unloads the revolver and hits them 5 out of 6 times. Great, right? Until he got up and left and got in his car and drove. He didn't make it very far, but he still was able to get up and leave. Hit 5 times. And so, you know, I said, what if he would have had a friend? Or had the notion to snap her neck before he left? I mean, these are the situations you could find yourself into. And so I wanna let you know something. If you're talking about perception of sound, like what you perceive as being louder than something else, the two loudest things you will ever hear are this right here. Or simply nothing. And that's what she heard on her last, when she pulled the trigger the 7th time. She heard click and had nothing. And she, by the grace of God, the guy decided to leave over anything else. So there are situations where you could find, when you're defending yourself, where you can find a need for whatever rounds you could carry. I mean, there's a reason why, law enforcement only carries, what they carry, and military carries what they carry. If there wasn't a size and weight constraint, they would carry an infinite amount of bullets. I mean, the reality of it is it's a size and weight issue, and that's the reason why they stopped at what they stopped at. And in the situation where you're defending yourself, and it could be two armed attackers that are attacking you, the time it takes to reload is an eternity. However, when you're an active shooter and you're unopposed and no one is challenging you whatsoever, the 2 to 3 seconds it takes to reload is nothing. So if you limit him to 5-round magazines, he kills 5 people, reloads, and starts killing again because no one is challenging him. So that's the fallacy of the argument, is it only hinders you when you're defending yourself. When someone is unopposed as an active shooter, it's not going to hinder him at all. And so you've seen videos where they show you how quick it is to reload. If I'm in that mode, if I'm in Godzilla mode and I don't care about anything, and I'm not, those active shooters, they're not being pressured. And they really do have, all the time in the world, really. So this is how long it takes. That's it. That was 2 reloads. And you know what? AR is no different. That's really what it comes down to. And that's the cold hard reality, is it is only going to hinder you when you're defending yourself, which is the whole point of the Second Amendment, which is the whole reason we're up in arms and we're fighting for this. And it's not going to do anything with the mass shootings. It just won't. Yeah, you could say, well, I train and I'm faster than these guys would be, but honestly, if they spent a couple days, even hours doing that, they could do it relatively that fast. I wasn't pushing it. So, there you go. It's just, it sounds great on the surface, but real world application, it's only going to get honest people killed.